My friends, it is often said that I like E3. My friends, I like E3. No, friends, I love E3. I love press conferences. I love world premieres. I love awkward developers, try-hard executives.
Everyone do it with me.
Let's go back in time, shall we?
Yikes! I said everyone come on, please.
Shigeru Miyamoto and Reggie's Fils-Aimé. E3 presentations done across convention halls, during live streams, on the floor, in booths, through gameplay demos on the main stage. I love every piece of E3 that can occur upon this earth. I love watching Sony blast Microsoft in 2013 when they revealed their DRM-free game sharing policy. My heart leaps for joy whenever Nintendo unveils a new Smash Bros. And there is nothing like when a new title that no one is expecting makes its big debut towards thunderous applause. And that feeling that comes when we see something so embarrassing you could just feel everyone participating wanting to run off the stage screaming. It moves me deeply when we see a moment of pure sincerity, like when Shigeru Miyamoto jumps onto the stage with his Zelda sword and shield. When I see awkward corporate presentations where marketers try to pretend to be hip and relevant, it is an irresistible pleasure. Nothing is more rousing than a litany of tech specs in 60 frames per second on a 4K monitor running in VR. When Michel Ancel finally takes the stage after working in secret to unveil his creation to the world brings me a sense of delight. You gotta love to be gone back, yeah. You see, gaming is in an interesting place. It always has been. It has become the dominant form of entertainment across the globe. The sheer volume of revenue is easily 10 times more than compared to the box office. The average game sparks more discussion and activity than most major book releases. Despite the fact that gaming has become more mainstream, it is still treated as a second-class citizen of media consumption. Think about it this way. You could spend an entire afternoon watching a movie, reading a book, or playing a game, but only one of those activities would be looked down upon as a frivolous waste of time by your friends and family. That is the fight for cultural legitimacy that gaming has battled across nearly 3 decades, and what I love about E3 so much is that it is a localized celebration where the best and brightest of gaming comes out to have a party for itself. These are the moments that define what will make up gaming culture for the coming year. Every industry has events like these, like the Academy Awards for film or the Super Bowl for sports. When you really break it down, these events are also commercial spectacles where people get emotionally invested in various brand identities. But what makes them a bit more than that is the fact that over the course of years and even decades, they tell stories of the mediums that they are defined by, and E3 is no different. We've seen trends like the explosion of motion controllers begin and die, the saturation of military FPS shooters. We've watched the rise and fall of dynasties as Sega went from household name to an awkward shell of its former self. We've seen publishers like Bethesda, EA, and Ubisoft grow so big that now they have their own separate press conferences. We've watched the Rocky-like saga of Nintendo as they've risen and fallen again and again, but still continue to move forward, holding the torch of their beloved franchises and pure gaming bliss against every industry trend that says that they should just fall down and fail. These are the stories I love seeing. These are the surprises that keep me coming back year after year, because I love E3 no matter what any cynic might say. Even in an awful year with a terrible bland showing, I know that the next one could easily blow everything out of the water. And in some ways, I can understand how it's easy to dismiss such petty things like console fanboyism or the sheer consumer spectacle of it all. But for me, I love seeing the beating heartbeat of the industry laid bare, and between all the corporate speeches, promotional hype, gaming gimmicks of the week, there is always something pure that makes me happy to see every year. An unbridled celebration of the medium that makes me smile like a kid in a candy store, and that is why no matter how many conservatives whine about cyborg women in their World War II games, no matter how many liberals bitch about the abundance of violence and carnage in gaming, no matter how much indie hipsters whine about the latest Call of Duty, or the dude bros complain about the stage time given to another indie pixel art jam, for me, there will always be the shining beacon of Shigeru Miyamoto cutting through all the noise and BS with his Master Sword as he jumps on the stage triumphantly to throngs of adoring fans. That will always be the spirit animal of E3 itself. And if you don't think this spirit is infectious, just look at the career of Reggie Fils-Aimé. This guy is a spin doctor, a complete and utter cold-blooded executive for hire who's worked as a marketing head for brands like Pizza Hut, Derby Cycle, Guinness, Panda Express, and VH1. He was previously the ultimate mercenary for hire, always swimming from one company to the next like a shark looking for a bigger and better paycheck. Until he started working for Nintendo in 2003 as their director of marketing and sales, and from his big debut on the Nintendo stage of E3 2014 in his famous quote,
"My name is Reggie, I'm about kicking ass, I'm about taking names, and we're about making games."
he became something more.
My body is ready.
Jump up, don't be scared. Jump up and your cares will soar away. And if the dark clouds start to swirl, don't feel it and shed a tear, 'cause I'll be
Nintendo 62, Nintendo 63, Nintendo 64. My puppet body is ready.
He's become a reliable fixture of the Nintendo gaming culture, and it's a position he could have left for something better like he did at all those other companies he's worked at before, but he's still there with Nintendo and has been for the past 12 years. If being a cultural fixture at E3 hawking family-friendly games can turn a cold-hearted, cutthroat marketing executive into a mascot evangelical preacher of the medium, from a guy who probably did not give a shit about gaming, who must have loathed working under the conservative supervision of Nintendo of Japan, to a guy who has over 200 hours of playtime logged into his DS copy of Dragon Quest IX, then maybe, just maybe, there's a little special gaming magic that only comes once a year, and that is the magic of E3.